wanted to do a quick update on the Antonio Brown situation. Now, reports had it that Antonio Brown was cut by the team instantly, but now reports are coming out that he is still with the team and he officially hasn't been removed. Basically, behind the scenes, they're trying to work out a situation. Now, I'm gonna say this much: whatever was going on with Antonio Brown and the coach, you still shouldn't have took off your jersey and all that kind of stuff and walked out of the walked off the field. There's better ways to handle that situation, because at the end of the day, you still put yourself in a position to be criticized because it make it look like you the one that's tripping. At the end of the day, Antonio Brown do need to be more professional. Okay? If anybody should be acting the way Antonio Brown is acting, as Kyrie Irving, based off the way he's been treated. But that's another video for another day. But he didn't handle the situation correctly, so I do have to get on him for that. Now, there is a situation going on. They do, this is common in NFL, what they do players with your contract and but incentives where, hey, if you get a certain amount of catches, you get this. Well, if you get a certain amount of yards, if you get a certain amount of touchdowns, you get this. As seen on the movie Any Sunday, where LL Cool J was basically complaining about Jamie Foxx's character at the time, Willie Beeman. Said, hey man, he don't call enough running plays. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't run the plays that you tell him to play. You know? So Antonio Brown's contract was incentive laced. He get $300,000 here, he get $300,000 there, he get $300,000 there. If he do this, he do that. But at the same time, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. So of course he wants his money. And that's what you call like trickery. You know, that's what you call the slavery incentives, where they say you got to get this, you got to get that. We'll pay you this, but if you can manage to get this, we'll give you this amount of money. Well, how are you supposed to get it if you're not on the field? How are you supposed to get it if the coach won't play you? And he'll put you in for one play. And let's just face the fact, most of the time, you know, you're not going to get thrown a 55-yard bomb. Or you're not going to have a game where you catch for a random game where you catch, especially if you're not a starter, if you catch for like 200 yards. So it's just a little trick that a lot of these teams like to do. You heard them do this with other people. They do this with wide receivers and running backs all the time. But I don't like how Antonio Brown handled the situation. He shouldn't have, you know, pouted and pranced off the field like he did. So I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta condemn that. That wasn't the way to handle that situation. But I just want to tell you some of the tricks that they try to do. And then, of course, they'll say you crazy. They'll do everything. They will do whatever it takes to make it look like it's just the player's fault. And I'm not one to just always sit up there and side with management and ownership, because I know how management and ownership get down. We all know that Bruce Arians did want him there. We all know that. But it appears that Tom Brady truly is the coach of the team and that he run the team. Basically, if Tom Brady wants him there, he gonna stay. And apparently Tom Brady brought him back. Allegedly. Bruce Arians never wanted him there. Should call him Bruce Arian. I don't give a damn about him wearing no Kangos. That don't mean nothing to me. Yeah, he's still there, Percy. He's not been cut. As reports first stated, he's still there. Because you got to understand, you got to go through the players union. You got to, it's a lot of, it's a lot of things you got to go through. But you got to watch out for them incentive-laced contracts. That's one of the common tricks among veterans that they like to do. So, you know, I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like I say, I do condemn Antonio Brown's actions, because that is not the correct way to handle a situation. That was unprofessional, it was childish, and it was ignorant. So I do condemn him on that. Well, I ain't gonna say condemn. I don't think that was smart. I don't want to condemn. That's what's going on. See, they never tell you the whole side of the story. They never tell you the whole. They'll just make it look like, hey, the dude had an outburst, he's crazy, get him out of here. And then you already know that the media people is gonna follow a script. They're just gonna say, hey, the producer, before the show starts, he gonna say, hey, go in on Antonio Brown, let him have it, say he's this, say he's that, without even doing a real investigation. And that's the problem. Media don't do real investigations at all. Or they will be one. Oh man, they tried to do me dirty, man. They tried to do me dirty. Tried to do me dirty. They tried to do me dirty, man. They tried to interrupt my stream, knowing that I didn't have nothing else going on. But that's okay. I'm back now. Nah, Treehouse, they never tell you the whole side of the story, because you have to understand, mainstream media, they want to push one objective: demonize the brother. That's what they want to do. Demonize the brother. And like I said, I didn't listen to other people's videos going in on him, and they have their right. They have their right. But what I'm doing is I'm telling you the whole side of the story. I want it to be some clarity though, because I'm telling y'all the whole side of the story, unlike what ESPN will do or what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization will do. He had an incentive-laced contract where he can make $1 million in bonuses if he gets a certain amount of yardages, a certain amount of touchdowns, a certain amount of catches. And due to the fact that Bruce Arian, and you know what I mean by that, knew that was in his contract, well, guess what? Like I said, if you don't get to play, you don't get to have the opportunity to get your incentives if you riding the bench. Now, what Antonio Brown should have did, he should have said, hey, man, he should have said, this is what he should have did. Antonio Brown should have, got on social media and said, hey, I have all these incentives in my contract that I have to match for me to get some bonuses. I'm guaranteed $1 million in bonuses if I do this and do that. And I believe that I haven't been getting the proper playing time, and I believe it's been did on purpose. Then he would have people like me that would say, okay, but I had to do my own research. Well, he's still there. He ain't done if Tom Brady don't want him done. Tom Brady run that team, homeboy. Guess who you think brought him back after he was allegedly cut? Tom Brady. And then, like I said, you got to go through the Players Union too. He may be done after this season because he got a 1 year contract. I mean, just listen, dude. You know what I'm saying? Just listen. Don't try to show up the host. Just listen to what I have to say. It's an incentive-laced contract. Oh, I'm not, look, Antonio Brown, I'm not going to say that a lot of the stuff that has happened to him, he didn't bring on himself. Yeah, he did, because he didn't use good judgment. I never said that he didn't use good judgment. I just said, I'm just telling you the whole side of the story. You got to understand, when you in the doghouse and you already have a bad reputation, well, any little thing you do, the media will put it out, especially if they got an agenda to demonize you. if you do anything, let's just say he throw out some trash while he driving. See, I told you, let's just say if he litters. See, I told you about, you have to understand how this works. Because due to the fact that he already have a bad reputation for being a knucklehead, well, that's going to follow him. And that's what they're going to do to guys like Antonio Brown. It's not going to be, well, let's hear what he has to say. It's going to be like, see, I told you about this dude. No thanks to Ryan Clark. You know, and Stephen A. Smith, but more so Ryan Clark. That's what they're going to do. Well, he ain't been removed. I'm just telling you now. I'm not trying to argue with you about it, bro. I'm just telling you he ain't been removed. He's still with the team. They're saying behind the scenes they trying to fix the situation. That's all I'm saying, man. Just, you know, get like you taking this way too serious. I'm just I'm just telling you, just listen to what I have to say. I don't have a co-host. You know, this ain't it. Well, I wouldn't. Well, Russell Westbrook still, man. Russell Westbrook don't like implode, you know, in front of the coach and all that kind of stuff. So he's a little bit different from Russell Westbrook. Antonio Brown do got a history of being a screw up. I never said. Oh, here we go. All right, hey, listen, bro. I'm not blind by nothing. Like, listen, bro. I'm trying to talk to you. Either you gonna listen or you not gonna listen. But I'm not trying to argue with you about this stuff, okay? What am I blind to, dude? Well, that's what I'm trying to say, Dreezy. They do this with veteran football players. They do it they did it to Terrell Owens. They doing it to Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown has a bad reputation. So when you have a bad reputation like Antonio Brown, it's easy to attack you. And then due to the fact that Antonio Brown give them motive, it doesn't help his case. See, the difference between Kyrie Irving and Antonio Brown, Kyrie Irving has really been quiet about the situation. He's, you know, he said he can understand, which, by the way, Kyrie Irving will make his debut, his return to basketball Wednesday. You have to understand that. And to me, to put like incentives in your contract and say, well, if you get this amount, well, how are you going to get it if you don't get playing time? Okay, my lawyer or my agent would be like, okay, cool. If you're going to give me an incentive-laced contract, okay, I want to put in my contract that I have to have reasonable amount of playing time and plays called for me so I could be put in a position to make my incentive bonuses. You guys sit up there and say, well, if you catch for, you know, if you catch for 1,000 yards, we'll give you $1 million bonus. But if you only playing like maybe 3 sets and you ain't getting plays drawn out for you, especially drawn out for you, then how are you going to make your incentive? See, people don't understand that kind of stuff, don't understand that kind of logic. I give you an example. Like years ago, Years ago, I worked at this distribution center. They what they did was they shut our plant down and they moved it like 80 miles north. But we had this thing, right? We had an incentive program. We had a certain amount of okay, we got time for every order we did. Like, let's just say, okay, you got 20 minutes to pick 100 cases or 20 minutes to pick 75 cases. Okay, let's just say you did it in half the time. Let's just say you moved really fast. Or let's just say you picked the 75 cases in like, instead of 20 minutes, you picked it in like 12. Well, guess the money you make, so you get incentive. But one of the tricks that they used to do in the incentive program, sometimes they would give you orders that they knew you wasn't going to be able to pick in a certain amount of time based off how big they was. Like, you just would know how many slots you had to go to. Okay, they'd give you an order for like 120 pieces, but the order wasn't bulk, and bulk mean like picking like 40 pieces at one time. So they would give you an order for like 100 and something pieces, and they'll say you had 40 minutes to get it, and then you have to take your pallet jack, you have to go slot for slot and single-handedly grab the shit and then put the sticker on it, and then they knew you wouldn't make your time. So they would do little tricks like that. Sometimes they would do tricks like that with the orders. So that's exactly what that's exactly what a lot of these NFL teams do. Yeah, it'll sound good. Yeah, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. If you do this, if you do that. But how are you going to get it if they put you in a position where you can't obtain it or where it's out of reach? That's all I'm saying. I already gave you my email. I've been gave it to you. So that's all I'm saying about Antonio Brown. I'm not saying Antonio Brown didn't bring the criticism on himself, but then don't fall for the whoop-de-whoop. Don't think, oh, Tampa Bay is just innocent in this situation. And then the thing is, if you publicly call out the team, then they try to demonize you. But it's okay for the Colts to publicly demonize you. I know this sport. I know how incentives work because I've worked under incentive. Yeah, they would do little tricks to where they would make sure they wouldn't have to pay us out a whole bunch of incentive money because they would give us orders that they purposely knew we wouldn't make the time. So then your time would go down, would decrease your picking time. Let's just say you an hour. Let's just say, okay, you have a certain amount of time. I'll look on the charts. It'll say, okay, I'm an hour ahead of schedule. So that means I'm going to make possibly, if I keep this going the rest of the week, I possibly can make an extra $200, $300, $400, maybe even $500. But then at the end of the day, they start giving you messed up orders. So it would go down and it would continue throughout the week. So you thinking you're going to make an extra $600 in incentive, it end up being possibly $300, $200, or even $100 extra. And then you thinking to yourself, you didn't bust your butt, and then it wasn't even worth it. So yeah, I know how incentive works. So I'm just trying to tell you, they was trying to do the whoop-de-whoop with Antonio Brown. All I'm saying is don't always listen to everything that the mainstream media do or put out. I did my investigation. I got reports sent to me. I got, so that's how I was able to put together this video. I guarantee you the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers talked about his incentive lace contract. How many yards that he needed to get $1 million bonus. He got paid the veteran salary, plus he was guaranteed $1 million if he got a certain amount of touchdowns, a certain amount of yards, a certain amount of catches. So here's the thing. If the coach ain't like I said, putting you in and calling plays for you, then like I said, you're not gonna have a chance to make your incentive. So that's all I'm saying when Antonio Brown, he went about the situation the wrong way. Of course, I already told you, ESPN over the last 15 years have really became the Fox News of sports, especially when it pertains to black athletes. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this and some people can't stomach it, but that's the truth. There done been several white players, from boxers to MMA fighters, NFL players, NBA players that got in trouble, that had incidents outside of basketball or their respective sports. But you didn't hear ESPN have the same energy. Look at what happened with Porzingis. He allegedly, not only did he hurt somebody, this person that he harmed was allegedly a black woman. But where's that same energy? But everybody has something to say about Ray Rice. They kept running that footage. Then there were several NFL players that were white that had issues with domestic violence. But guess who they only want to focus on? The brothers. ESPN, Michelle Beadle, in particularly her, always has something to say about Floyd Mayweather and his alleged incidents with women. But War Machine broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, not only beat her up, beat the dude that was there with her up, and tried to harm her. There were several MMA fighters. He split up with his wife. He trained because ESPN is fixated on demonizing brothers. Let's felt about taking a potion. But everybody tried to make it look like Kyrie Irving just said, "Hey, it's my personal decision." He did not tell people. He didn't say, "Hey, don't do it. Everybody don't do it. This will happen to you." But you got guys like John Stockton. John Stockton has flat out said, "Don't do it," and explain why, which John Stockton is entitled to his opinion. But you didn't see John Stockton get the same vitriol that Kyrie Irving has got. There have been white players. Look at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz went and got a religious exemption. Okay? Kirk Cousins, another one who has been anti-potion. Carson Wentz went and got a religious exemption, which that's his right. I respect his right. But did you hear people coming at Carson Wentz the same way they came at Kyrie Irving? Aaron Rodgers was only talked about for the time that he was out. When he got back, it was forgotten. But Kyrie Irving, they still talking about Kyrie Irving. There was a college coach in the state of Washington who refused to take the potion. But you didn't see them antagonizing and terrorizing him like they did Kyrie Irving. They try, and that's something that they try to do. They didn't try to make black people the catalyst for this being so-called anti-potion. Look what they did to Letitia Wright. Look what they did to Ice Cube. But then Emilio Estevez walked off the set of a show for the same reason. You ain't heard nobody say nothing about Emilio Estevez. But they only want to do it to black people. They only want to put these labels on black people. And I'm going to continue to talk about that. I don't care about nobody being mad about me saying what I need to say. It's going to be said. You cannot tell me that they treat other people the way they treat blacks as far as media go, or just as far as society go. So Antonio Brown, yes, Antonio Brown has brought a lot of this on himself. But let's not try to pretend that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is just innocent in this situation, especially if they try to put the screws to him and keep him from getting his money. If you put that in the contract, that if he gets this amount of yardage, touchdowns, and catches, you gonna give him this, then you need to put him in a situation to where he can at least have a chance to obtain it. But if you bitching him and not playing him, then it's a crock, it's a fraud, it's a scam. You being played, and he has every right to call the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out on that if that's what they're doing. So don't come on here trying to play that stuff with me. Don't come on here trying to tell you know what I'm saying? Don't come on here trying to police my channel, because I know what I'm talking about. It's very rare that I do a video on the fly. I did my research. You'll be mad too. Now, like I said before, the way he handled the situation, not smart. Not smart. You gave them ammo. You gave them ammo. What you should have did is you should have waited till the game was over. You could have made a video. You could have got on social media and said, hey, man, I kind of don't like what's going on. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. The organization said if I made a certain amount of plays in this season, they would give me this amount of money. But I feel like I'm being put in a position to where I can't, obtain my incentives. Then it would have been like, okay, I get it. But then the way he handled the situation, where he took off his jersey, his shoulder pads, and ran into the locker room, once again, he gave them ammo. He gave everybody ammo. So that wasn't smart. Now, at the end of the day, do I think that Antonio Brown could possibly have a mental problem as well? Well, that's not out of reach. That's not out of reach. Taking all them hits. Could he be a candidate for could he be a candidate? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's not try to make it look like the NFL is just go by the book and the NFL do right by everybody. Because if that's the case, Colin Kaepernick would have a job. It's funny how the NFL got all by the goal line and the goal post, they got it painted in racism. That's funny. That's hilarious. But the dude that was talking about it, they ran him out the league. But that's okay. Colin Kaepernick, he got $60 million from them. And it wasn't no $6 million. He got $60 million out of the NFL. And he got a TV show. He got TV deals. He got a shoe deal. There's talk of possibly a biopic about Colin Kaepernick. So he got a show on Netflix, which, by the way, I got to finish watching, which was pretty good. The dude that was talking about police brutality and racism is the one that they ran out the league. But now they trying to capitalize off what he was talking about. Yeah, I agree. I never said that Antonio Brown was possibly in his right mind. He didn't play football for years. That is not out of the question that he may not be mentally there. Never said that neither. You got to understand, your brain works in mysterious ways. You don't use all of your brain anyway. So you could just imagine taking those hits, even if you got a helmet on. Each hit do something to your body. You never recover from any hit. From the first hit to the next 200 to 300, depending on how long you play. This is just facts. When you a boxer, every hit you take to the face, even to the body, has a long-term effect on you, one way or another. You can either end up like Muhammad Ali, or you can end up like Thomas Hearns, where you barely can talk at times. So it just really depends. So yeah, I'm not saying that Antonio Brown is all the way there, because possibly he isn't. We have to keep it a buck. But I feel like he's sane enough to understand that they like put him in a position where he couldn't gain his incentives. Well, Floyd, like Floyd said, the reason why Floyd can continue to do these exhibitions, Floyd was always defensive first, offensive secondary, but give you enough offense to where the fight don't be boring. For people that say Floyd had boring fight, a damn lie. What it is, just mad because Floyd was so dominant. It's not like Floyd fight Frank S. If Floyd was a boring fighter, Floyd wouldn't sell millions of pay-per-views. So that doesn't make any kind of sense, right? You don't keep taking your ass back to Burger King, right, if you don't like their fries or you don't like their hamburgers, right? You can't sit up there and say, I can't stand Burger King. I don't like Burger King. They terrible. I don't like nothing about Burger King. But then if your homeboy say, hey, man, you want to go get something from Burger King? Yep, let's go. That doesn't make any kind of sense. So when you hear these people say, oh, Floyd's fights were boring, I can't stand Floyd, he's unbearable to watch, why was he selling all those pay-per-views? And I'm not trying to hear that cap about, well, people paid to see him lose. But how could that be if you say he didn't fight nobody? So that doesn't make any kind of sense. You see how I'm like debunking some of these notions? That doesn't make sense. If you saying that Floyd is fighting somebody and it's a mismatch, once again, why are you buying it? But then you'll say, I'm buying it because this is gonna be the fight. Floyd, look, man, y'all getting ethered. Y'all getting ethered. I'm cooking. But this is the notion that you hear primarily a lot of white people and Mexicans say about Floyd. Oh, he was boring. He fought. He cherry picked. Okay, but why was you watching his fights then? How was Floyd selling 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 million, 4 million pay-per-views if he had such a boring style and you paid to see him lose? Did anybody really think that Floyd was going to lose to Conor McGregor? You paid because you wanted to see the fight. I think quiet as kept, I think even Pacquiao fans knew that Floyd was going to beat Pacquiao. Well, this is what I'm saying. He's still with the team. So this is what I'm saying. Man, a lot of these dudes don't know the sport of boxing. A lot of these dudes is clickbaiters. That's all they do. They clickbait, they make up stuff. They make up stuff. And that's the problem. They part of the problem. Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make about Floyd. All this stuff about, well, we watch Floyd fights because we paid to see him lose. Who would do something like that? I don't make it, man. Do you think, okay, listen, you know how stupid that sound? You know how stupid that sound when somebody said, well, I would just pay because I wanted to see him lose. No, so you did that throughout his career, right? So you did that throughout his career. Because after the Diego Corrales fight, Floyd never fought on regular TV ever again. So you continue to pay to see a dude lose, so you say, right? So you continue to give your hard-earned money to see a dude that you swear you didn't like, was boring, and was a cherry picker. So you continue to do that multiple times. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, here's the thing, you guys. That's like me going to the movies, right? Now, with a movie, it's hit or miss. Okay, either it's gonna be good or it ain't gonna be good. Either you gonna like it or you not gonna like it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna watch it. So why would you keep going back to the movie theaters to watch? Let's just say you didn't like. I'll give you an example. Avatar was the worst. Avatar was probably the most overrated movie ever made. Avatar and The Usual Suspects. When I got through watching both of those movies, I was like, this is the movie that everybody was talking about? That was so good? Usual Suspects to me is the most overrated movie ever made. Extremely overrated. Avatar, extremely overrated. I wasn't mesmerized by those special effects that they was talking about. Look like the same old special effects you seen in any other movie. But my point is, I've never watched Avatar after I saw it the first time. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Okay? For real. Haven't watched The Usual Suspects again. Didn't like it. So once again, I continue to go see a movie that I swear to God that I didn't like, that is so horrible, that everything was wrong with it, but I'm going to keep giving this film studio my money and the people that starred in the movie my money. Do that make any kind of sense? No, it doesn't. Oh man, you don't even want me to get started on these Bud fans, because they the fakest out there. The Bud detractors, they the fakest people out there. These so-called, man, I don't even want to get into that. I'm gonna talk about that another day. I'm almost willing to bet you. All I can say is, this is just real talk. If Errol Spence get past Ugas, his next fight better be Terrence Crawford. That's all I got to say. His next fight better be Terrence Crawford, because his fans are already hanging on the string anyway. They have nothing. Terrence Crawford is doing his thing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the Errol Spence fans don't have nothing to hang on no more. All this stuff about money and all this kind of stuff about ticket sale, stop it. I don't even want to go into that. All I know is Terrence Crawford better be Errol Spence's next fight. That's all I got to say. I don't want to hear no excuses. None of that stuff. Look, I'm gonna say this much, and then I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna end the video like this. Who always throwing up all the obstacles? The Spence fans. And I'm gonna say this right now. Terrence Crawford don't have to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Boots Ennis don't got no belt. He don't got no belt. He's not a popular enough fighter, and he's not a mandatory. But the funny thing is, when he called out Errol Spence, everybody's record button got silent. But then when he says, I'm interested in Terrence Crawford, then hear everybody come. They always throw an obstacle in the way. Okay? And it is just gonna be another one. And I don't got nothing against Boots Ennis. Sorry about that. I'm hearing. All I'm gonna say is real. I've never seen somebody get the type of backlash Terrence Crawford got. By his own people. By his own people. And let me tell you something. Boots get hit a lot. I've seen Boots get whacked in a couple of his fights. His defense still ain't there. So I just gotta, you know what I'm saying? I done seen the dude get touched up. He's not there yet. And I'm just telling the honest to God truth. And like I said before, this Terrence Crawford thing, and yeah, I'm calling out black media because it ain't white people that's doing this. This is black media that have done this to Terrence Crawford because they are so worried that Terrence Crawford can beat Errol Spence. This is what this is all about. That's why they keep throwing up all these obstacles, talking about money. You need to leave Top Rank. You need to do this. Man, it's been a freeze out of Terrence Crawford. It's been a freeze out. And Danny Garcia, I don't respect him at all. That man did turn down the fight with Terrence Crawford 3 times. So what's the excuse now, Danny? Why can't you fight Terrence Crawford now? You talked about call Al Heyman. Man did turn down Terrence Crawford 3 times, been offered millions of dollars. Offered his biggest payday. And he still won't fight Terrence Crawford. You know why? You know why he won't get in the ring with Terrence Crawford? Because he gonna get stopped. He gonna get stopped. Terrence Crawford gonna stop him. When I say Terrence Crawford gonna beat Danny Garcia up, I'm talking about he gonna beat Danny Garcia up. He gonna stop Danny Garcia, and then the Spence fans go throw up another obstacle. They gonna have another excuse. They gonna say he an Errol Spence leftover, and he never even touched the ground. Errol Spence didn't even knock the dude down. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Danny Garcia know he gonna get stopped. And I'm talking about Terrence Crawford go in there and make it personal. For his daddy calling him a nappy head and all that kind of stuff, all that little suspect stuff his dad said. When I say Terrence Crawford would put a whooping on Danny Garcia, and all that's going to happen is the Errol Spence apologist is going to make another excuse, throw up another obstacle. And then let me talk about this. Okay, let me make idiots out of these other dudes. That's talking about, oh, well, why should he fight Josh Taylor? Why not? Oh, Josh Taylor is in a smaller weight class. Hold on, wait a minute. Did Terrence Crawford fight at that same weight class and become undisputed? That doesn't make any kind of sense. Oh, but it was okay for Mikey Garcia to fight Errol Spence, who didn't have no belt. Mikey Garcia ain't never been undisputed. So it would make a lot of sense. Terrence Crawford went up to fight Jeff Horn and he beat him. So why not Josh Taylor? If he can't get Danny Garcia. Because like I said, at the end of the day, they trying to age Bud out. Like I said, what belt did Danny Garcia have? And he came up from a lower weight class. This is a dude that I think fought at like featherweight. So you may, I mean, come on, man. Stop it. It's always a monkey wrench. You asked Bud to fight Kell Brook. He took care of Kell Brook. He stopped Kell Brook. Man, if he don't fight Shawn Porter, he ducking. So he fights Shawn Porter. He stops Shawn Porter. And then you hear a lot of these fake lowlifes, black lowlifes talking about the fight was fixed. Like I said, I done been around Shawn, I done been around Kenny. Shawn, I can guarantee you, would never take a dive. And that's another thing. Josh Taylor is bigger than Bud. Josh Taylor might be 5'11" because I'm 5'11". I done stood right next to Josh Taylor. So, just trying to tell you, Josh Taylor is big. And that's not going to be no easy fight for Bud because Josh Taylor can box. Ask Jose Ramirez. I would still pick Bud to win that fight, but that ain't gonna be no cakewalk. I know I didn't interview. By the way, I was one of the first ones to interview Josh Taylor. As far as when he made his American debut, when he came to Las Vegas, that was me. Just like I was the very first to interview Freeway Rick. But I mean, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Nipsey Hussle. I never, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping off the credit. I really ain't. But yeah, they gonna throw another obstacle in the way. At the end of the day, it's paranoia. And for real, it's up to you guys. Stop listening to these managers. Stop listening to these corn. Now I wonder what these Errol Spence apologists gonna have to say. Well, Dreezy, so what if he signed back with Top Rank? Well, he can't get the PBC fighters to get in the ring with him. Well, not the good ones. Like I said, Danny Garcia took $1.2 million to fight Adrian Granados when he could have got a marquee pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden with Terrence Crawford. It would have did good numbers. Terrence Crawford versus Danny Garcia would have did probably 500,000 pay-per-views. It would have, Madison Square Garden would have been sold out. Danny Garcia would have probably walked away with probably $5 million because it would have did good numbers on pay-per-view. But he took 1.2 to fight Adrian Granados. So I don't want to hear that stuff. And like I said, we all know what's going to happen to Danny Garcia if he get in the ring with Bud. He going to get hurt. He going to get hurt bad. But we all know the apologists going to throw the monkey wrench in the way. They gonna make up something. They really is. But anyway, I'm at the job now. So thanks for tapping in. Appreciate the love. I'm out.